Second game of Barkmann's Corner. This time Wargamer Rabbit's playing the Germans. So the SS platoon is staying nice and comfy this time instead of hopping over the hedge like in the last scenario we played. Barkmann drove down a little bit down the road because he found no Americans to take a shot at other than the initial game starting burning Sherman at the crossroads. As you can see, the Americans are keeping well scattered, but not one of them got hung up on the hedgerows. Not one. Everybody made it over the hedgerows. 100%. Turn 2. On the German half of the turn, back half, Barkmann drove his Panther forward a little bit, got near the hedgerow, took a shot across the hedgerow, hit the tank on a 6. Firepower roll was a 6. They're still trying to identify with the Detroit Sherman what state it landed in. Other than that, the SS troopers are having lunch down here in the hedgerow. Cantina truck stopped by. The American Shermans are a bit disarrayed. This tank here is out of command now, so it's not going anywhere except towards its friendlies. And here the company commanders in the 2nd C&C are driving their Detroit Best across the open fields, and as you can see, the 2nd platoon has arrived on the corner of the road here. So this ends turn 2, as the 1st platoon is trying to struggle its way with Sergeant Poole now leading the column because the lead tank just got fried by Barkmann. As you can see on turn 3 here, Barkmann's Panther had to back up because it had a direct fire smoke cloud on top of it. Took a long range shot down the road past the burning wreck. Didn't score any hits even with his reroll. Here the American company commander tanks are winding their way across the hedgerows while the 1st platoon is still sort of in disarray around the crossroads. 2nd and 3rd platoons of course are arriving now on the board here at the upper corner. So going on to turn 4, the SS troops are of course enjoying their leisurely meal. Turn 4 was fairly short. The Americans moved down the road a little bit and Barkmann backed up a little bit. Actually he didn't back up, he actually stayed still this turn. So he opened fire and he brewed up 2 Shermans of the 2nd platoon. 3rd platoon's hugging the hedgerows on the other side. Other than that, the company commander tanks are here waiting their turn, hiding behind hedgerows, not in visible line of sight. Poole of course is stuck from moving forward because his platoon commander is hung up on the hedgerow, and they haven't elected to change out tanks yet. Into turn 4. Into turn 5, not much has changed. Barkmann's Panther rolled up a little bit forward, took a pop shot at one of the Shermans coming through the hedgerows here, bailed him out, and then did a stormtrooper move backwards 4 inches to prevent the Shermans from getting on the flank. Other than that, our SS types are still having their leisurely lunch. The American company command tanks are here hiding away. 1st platoon's still pretty scattered, still out of command in some cases. The platoon commander's just looking. And back down here, the 3rd platoon tried to get over the hedgerows. 2 tanks made it, 3 didn't. And by the way, just if you didn't know, those are my tape measures. Well, that's turn 6. Barkmann backed up a little bit more so he could fire through the gateway there and promptly brewed up the platoon tank of number 2 platoon of Shermans. There's one bailed out right behind him, and of course you can see there's a big mess here at the crossroads. Italian commanders, or actually company commanders, are still out here on the flanks trying to hold out, and 3rd platoon's slowly crossing the hedgerows to get out onto this other flank. This is the end of turn 6. Get a view here from the American side. And there's Barkmann's Panther just sitting in the roadway. Turn 7, not much action. Barkmann took a shot at a Sherman way down here at the end of the road here in 3rd platoon. Other than that, that 3rd platoon has got another tank across. And down here they're trying to fight their way through the little gateway here. The 2nd in command has moved over to get within command radius of the leaderless 2nd platoon. He just barely did it. And Poole's tank rolled forward a little bit. Other than that, it was a pretty quiet turn on turn 7. Turn 8. Well, the Americans are getting uppity. As you can see, the American 1st platoon is trying to roll around. Poole's trying to get out on the flank. Couldn't do anything to the Panther, so they fired direct fire smoke on the front of it. So in the German half of the turn, Barkmann backed up and fired through the smoke, missed even with his rerolls. The SS Grenadiers are taking a couple of shots from the American tanks here, but their save rolls are immaculate with perfect 6s. Out here on the right, you can see the company commander and the 3rd platoon is trying to work its way through. There is one bog tank there in the gap. And other than that, it's the normal chaos and burning tanks out here in the field. Going on to turn 9. Turn 9 just completed. As you can see, the American 1st Platoon is looking pretty bad. Let's do real quickly, we need a motivation roll here, Daniel. See if we can hang around.
Nope. Okay,
the American 1st Platoon is going to leave the board. SS are waking up to the fact that they might be involved here. And over here on the right, the battalion, or actually company commander, is trying to get ready to go over these hedges along with the 3rd Tank Platoon, which is following behind him. Otherwise, the American platoon, 1st Platoon, is now totally gone, and the 2nd Platoon is still intermixed out here with the 2nd in command of the 2nd Platoon. Well, turn 10. Barkmann's tanks stayed still, fired directly on the remaining tanks of Platoon number 2 of the Shermans and promptly brewed up 2 of them, and the 3rd one scooted to the rear. So that's 2 platoons of American Shermans totally destroyed. The SS tried to move over, or moving over towards the objective. They're now within 4 inches. Did their stormtrooper move, failed, but Barkmann, true to form, made his stormtrooper move and turned to face the onrushing remains of the 3rd Platoon plus the company commander, who promptly, as you can see, got bogged on the hedgerow when he tried to cross at the early part of this turn. It's going on to turn 11. Americans have got exactly 1 platoon left plus the company commander. Turn 11, first half of the turn, the American 3rd Platoon breached the hedgerow real quickly, got 1 tank on the flank. He took his shot, he got a hit, but the Panther rolled a 6 for save. But unfortunately, the American platoon commander, wisely facing off the Panther tank, turned his coaxial machine gun along with the company commander's tank and completely gunned down the defenseless SS infantry out here. I mean, they failed all 3 of their save rolls, actually 4 save rolls, and there's no surviving except for this company commander the platoon commander, who made his morale roll, but he's got nobody left. Obviously they had too much Wiener Schnitzel and Snaps out there while they were waiting for the American tanks to arrive, and they were just a bit sloppy and drunk. The end of turn 11, basically a catastrophic German turn here. As you can see, the SS platoon is totally gone. Even the sole survivor platoon leader scooted off the rear with a nice roll of 2. So they left. Barkmann figured, I just got to hold my ground, and fired. He brewed 1 tank and bailed out another. So we're going on to turn 12 here with the game in the balance, literally. Will the German tank still be around here on turn 12? That's really what it's going to boil down to. Update. Barkmann remembers he's got stormtrooper move, so he promptly reverses gear here to put the frontal armor on the Shermans in front, and just gets out of the angle of the company commander here. So they're going to have to move to fire me on my flanks. We'll see how we survive on turn 12. Here's the roll. 4 shots at stabilizer fire in the flank of the Panther. 5. There it is. 1 hit. The Panther save. Fails. Firepower. 3 or better. No! Bails me out. First half of turn 12, as you saw the dice rolls, all the Americans did was bail out Barkmann. He's taking a little suntan lotion on the back deck of his Panther, and now he's going to climb back in and finish him off. This is the back half of turn 12. I'll have to look up on the rules here if I'm contesting the objective being a bailed out tank. I don't think I am. So technically the Americans are winning this unless I get back in the tank. Barkmann gets back in the tank. It looks like an American loss, but first we're going to open fire. 2 shots. Exciting conclusion. Turn 12. Barkmann gets back into his tank, opens fire on the American Sherman platoon, promptly destroys 2 of them, and since the Americans are not in control of the objective, and they may have lost all their platoon, which they fled the scene. It is now, there's a reroll, company commander
You're so good.
holds them in the fight. So at the end of the game, there's a weakened American Sherman platoon of 2 tanks, plus the company commander facing off an angry Barkmann who hasn't done a stormtrooper move yet, but it's the end of the game, and according to the rules of the scenario, it's a German win by the squeakiest of margins. Otherwise, as we can see, there's lots of wrecks on the battlefield.